Memorial Day contributed to what may turn out to be a record year for tornadoes in the Buckeye State.
Storm Team 4 meteorologist Ben Gelber joining us now to break down the numbers for us. And this is kind of rare for us, Ben, right?
Yeah, Mark and Darlene, for the first time we've had a tornado in every month. That's in recorded history, including January and February. And then as we continue through the year, April 7, 24 in May, that had to do with the Memorial Day outbreak. In June, now we're up to 10. So we're on a record pace. And if we continue on in terms of the all-time record, that was 1992 when we had 62 tornadoes. And you can see right now we're up to 45, outpacing 2010, 2011, and 2017 with 39, and 1973 with 34. Now, most of the Ohio Valley tornadoes this year have been on the weaker side. However, look at this EF2 twister at South Bend, Indiana, 250 yards wide. Sunday evening damaged a learning center. Surveys confirmed 3 more tornadoes on Monday, 2 in southwestern Ohio near Mount Oreb and Hillsborough, and an EF1, which you can see here, damaging trees that were twisted in Muskingum County near Dresden. Now, the recovery from the Memorial Day tornado outbreak in the Dayton area continues. The EF4 tornado that traveled from Brookville to Trotwood and the north side of Dayton is one of the strongest in the nation this year with 170-mile-per-hour winds. And then, of course, an intensifying EF2 storm hit Laurelville and Hocking County after 1 in the morning. That's a rare time for a strong storm. 21 tornadoes were counted in the second largest tornado outbreak in state history. And of course, we've had flooding rain since. So it has been one volatile spring. At least the pattern, as Dave was showing us, is starting to settle down to more typical summer. We had 4 to 12 inches of rain last week, and it's going to take a while for the water to go down. That's on top of the record wettest year last year. So that's why the water table is so high and farmers can't get into the fields. Now, I did mention one of these tornadoes, most of the tornadoes have been on the weaker side, but look at this one. And an EF1 tornado can be terrifying too. This past weekend, this struck Marshall County, Kentucky, near a lake. Now look at the surveillance video. It shows boaters scrambling to get off the water just in time, moments before 100-mile-per-hour winds tore the marina apart while they watched from the dock. Sheet metal actually flies by before the roof blew into the water. They were fortunate not to be drawn into the circulation. So, Dave, that is really scary stuff.
I mean, when you just hear EF1, you think, of course, that's something mild. You think a weak tornado, but looking at
that shows you the power of an EF1 tornado with winds barely 95 to 100 miles per hour. Of course, the one that hit Dayton, 170 miles.
Yeah, because we just had an EF1 just earlier this week in our area.
Yeah, and so that puts it in perspective.
Wow.
And the circulation can be anywhere from 100 yards to a half-mile wide.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I mean, tornadoes are tornado. It's going to be scary. It's going to be dangerous.
Especially
you're
in the path of one.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I talk about in schools a lot of times. You think about an EF0 tornado has winds that are like at highway speed, right? Like 70, 80 miles an hour. You put your hand out the window and you're trying to drive a vehicle at that speed, and it's difficult to keep your hand with all your muscle in your arm still in one spot. So imagine a building that's not used to that kind of wind. It is pretty incredible, and that's on the weak end of the tornado scale.